Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Vries, and today I want to discuss a simple topic, different ways of doing things. What lies in our chart? What is the power that each of us holds within us? What is the gift that was given to us from our soul through living many lifetimes? A Mozart was not just born. A Mozart was created through many lifetimes of immersion in music, in resonation, in vibration, in developing the ear, developing the soulfulness about music, and coming in with all that wisdom and gift and capacity to excel in one aspect of being human, and using it and having it just explode in front of us from a very young age. So people ask me, well, was a Hitler born? Was a Hitler born to destroy? Was there a divine purpose to what's going on in America right now? Was there a karma of the country that demanded change? And because I'm a medium and I've had a lot of opportunity to talk with people on the other side, several things I want to bring to the foreground. First of all, there are people that are born with certain amazing gifts, amazing power that just, they know how to tap into their power from childhood. And yes, oftentimes those powerful souls, like Gandhi or Jesus, or I'm trying to name positive ones, or some great composers that created inspirational divine music, like Handel's Messiah, which was written in about 15 days, just locked in a room. Those people learned how to access their gifts and use their force of power in what we would describe as a groundbreaking way, like Van Gogh painting with broad strokes and passionate plastering of oil on canvas and focusing on light and sunflowers, etc. It's like he took, even though he had certain psychological, what people call dysfunctions, he took the power, he took the gift not to harm anyone. Instead, he had an incredibly compassionate heart and was a channel for his own divine experience of light itself. And so to me, the fact he painted the sunflowers was very symbolic of how I see and experience his soul as a sunflower, always turning to the light and expressing the light on his canvas with great passion. So that force of will that we have, that passion that we have that lies deep within us, it can be expressed in a positive or a negative way. Let me put it another way. We look at America, we look at the karma of America, we look at the fact that we destroyed almost entirely the North American Indians in dastardly ways, how we built the country on the back of slaves. And just one second. Come here. Down, please, right now. Come on. Go lie down. Not going to do that. Be a good boy. And so, yes, the country had karma being actions, and the resolution of karma being bringing things back into a balance. We do something negative, we want to create a deep contemplation on what we did and then make it better, and that is balancing our own karma. Let's say we've hurt somebody, we've gone out and we've really hurt somebody, and then we've gone back, said we're sorry, tried to make restitution, and bring things back into a sense of balance. Well, with America, we needed an upheaval. We needed the rock turned over, the racism exposed, the materialistic greed of corporate growth, and the disparity between the rich and poor, and the sense of separation that was so pronounced here, and the arrogance about the country itself. And I'm not saying this as an outsider. I'm half American, half Canadian. So I grew up half of my life in Canada and spent the other half of my life in America. So I have a dual expression and an influence in my life. So when we get somebody, a leader coming into place like we have now, if you look at his chart, stop it, go lie down, right now, down, you be a good boy. They always do this during my readings. His chart, some of the Vedic astrologers and some of the Western astrologers have over and over said how much he has a power chart. So he was born with an immense sense of charisma and vitality. Whether you like him or not, he has a force around him. Now, when we have a force field like that around us and we have great capacity to influence, this influence doesn't come from education or from thought forms. It's kind of a resonation that we have. Like, you know how you look at a group of horses and sometimes you'll see one horse that just stands out. It just has this majestic, powerful capacity to extinguish all the other horses, and all you do is end up looking at him. Well, he has that power. Now, you compare that to somebody like Gandhi, who had a similar power, a similar force field, but both of them probably had soul intentions to come in and create immense change. The difference being that one of them came in with the idea, I will create change through staying peaceful, through keeping my focus on the goal of liberation of India, but I will do it through starving myself, through literally, it would almost look like a negative force field of, it would almost look like a negative force field of denying yourself your own life, almost in a suicidal, slightly appears to be a suicidal method to gain your goal, a hunger strike. And yes, he did that. His will was that strong. His influence, his power, his emanation was that great that millions of people followed him. And he accomplished his goal of liberation of his country and bringing things back into more of a sense of balance through peace. And his philosophy was change yourself, change the world. Pretty amazing what he accomplished. Then we look at our country and we see somebody with the same charisma using it so often in such a negative expression that it became ugly, it became repulsive, it became violent, it became narcissistic, it became manipulative, it became taking the force of the power and wielding it in a way that harms a lot of people, millions of people. So that is creating, out of a positive intention to bring change to America, out of that positive intention has come immense negativity and suffering. Both are creating change. America will never be the same. it will have to rebuild its foundation on a cleaner, more balanced, fair structure of understanding that we are all one humanity. And if you think about it, the internet, as much as people complain about it, and it's used for conspiracy theories, and it's used for all sorts of, it's got its erotic sections, and it's got its extreme viewpoints, and its way out there concepts. It has been a great leveler. It has leveled us, that we can now converse with somebody in South Africa or Australia or Eastern Germany, and we can come together and share thoughts and meet people that before we would never ever have had a capacity to meet. And it's broadening our experience of humanity on a global level. So that's been a good thing. And while we've had this control over our TV stations owned by just a certain number of people, and we've also had the internet and varying viewpoints on the internet to counterbalance that control. So let's take it to a personal level. Let's take it to a level of, say you're born extraordinarily beautiful. It's had the perfect body, the perfect face, the charisma, and that brings with it a lot of temptations, a lot of capacity to be pulled sideways into a more self-absorbed, destructive patterns of being, because things come to you easily. And so I look at somebody like Audrey Hepburn, was born during the war, like a little waif, and the courage and the acts that she did during the war. And as she became a ballerina, a famous model, an actress, that beauty just got more and more refined, and her elegance became greater. And what did she do? She spent her later years of life in North Africa with starving children. And my beloved Habib that I was with was actually working with her when he died on a project that was related to feeding children in Africa. And he said she was the most incredibly beautiful, dignified, refined woman. It was just a pleasure to work with her. She wasn't using her beauty in a manipulative way. And she was expressing completely, if you look at pictures of her at the end of her life, just the soul was emanating through her eyes. Or I think of someone like Elizabeth Taylor, who went through her wild ways, her drinking, her many marriages, but when push came to shove, she was the first actress to stand up for AIDS and to speak for raising money for AIDS when everybody was treating them like pariah, and a lot of the young men in particular were dropping like flies in the homosexual world. And she went out there and bravely stood up and used her beauty, her intelligence, her charisma in a positive way. And that was one of the main expressions of her life at the end of her life. I've met people in my life, like, say, I met one man, extraordinarily eloquent, tremendously good-looking, and charismatic, and passionate about life and his views. And I saw him walk through life, from what he told me, with an attitude to use that power to seduce as many women as possible without any thought for how that was affecting them or their feeling about men or about trust or about loyalty or value systems, just tossing it all away. I've known women like that. There's something about karma, and there's something about the way we walk through life and carry things forward in life that we must bring balance back to our own actions. Hey, that's enough. Come here. Come here. So sorry. It's morning time and they're full of restlessness. Come on, Big John. So I guess that's my message for today, is that we're all born with our individual gifts. We all have something. If I looked at your chart and I sat with you, I would feel your sacred gift. You sit down and be a good puppy dog, okay? I would feel your sacred gift. I would see your challenges. I would experience your journey forward. And I would definitely try to help you see the pitfalls that we're heading on the page in front of you of your life unfoldment through the matrix of your soul imprint. It would be so clear where your power lies. And I would look at your Mars in your chart, where that tells me about your strengths and your weaknesses and why you chose the parents you did and what were the karmic reasons. So rather than feeling a victim to your childhood, you could draw from the pain and suffering of your childhood and turn it into a positive. As you healed that, you would then bring back to mankind your personal experience of healing a profound trauma within your own being. And usually that's very deeply related to our soul purpose. So I'm going to end there. That's enough for today. But I really did want to talk about, the next video I want to talk about is when you get to the other side and you go through your life review, what happens and how we can greatly eradicate the suffering and the pain of our life review through making changes while we're still in our human form. Thank you. And if you like this video, my name's Elizabeth Vries. You can contact me at angelicmercy44@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to give you a reading and to talk with you, to talk with people that you've known that have crossed over, and any questions that align with that. Thank you, and have a beautiful weekend, and take some time to be with yourself. Thank you. Bye.